Hello and welcome to Bruno's Geek Reviews. We're going to review the third episode of Series 7 of Doctor Who, A Town Called Mercy. So yeah, basically I did like it, but not as much as the previous two, and I'm going to explain why. First of all, the good stuff. I feel like it did take the Doctor to this, as I previously anticipated, did take the Doctor to this darker place, if you will. Kind of like seeing how he gets darker with all his companions. And some dilemmas were brought forth where I think it works for the Doctor to not always be saving the day explicitly and to sometimes maybe confront his inner demons or go into kind of like philosophical questions of like how do you deal with this kind of thing. Anyway, so yeah, and you know, it's fun. I like the Western setting. I kind of, you know, I'm a fan of Westerns when they're well done. So I kind of like seeing the Doctor there. And also as a side note, that was actually, it's kind of funny because, you know, a while back I heard that they were going to film Doctor Who in Spain, and I was kind of like, oh, in Spain, that's interesting, like, I wonder what the Doctor was going to do in Spain. But it turns out that's the episode they were filming in Spain, just for the desert, but it's set in America in the story. So that wasn't an episode in Spain at all. Oh well, you know, being half Spanish, I would have liked to see that. I haven't checked where they filmed it, but if I had to take a guess, I wouldn't be surprised if it's near Madrid, in the region of Las Rozas. That's where they filmed Ben-Hur back in the day. And apparently the guy, like the Roman who had a watch, is still, well, I mean, a few years ago I heard that actually when I was a teenager, I heard that this guy still lived around there. And they would call him El del Reloj, the guy with the watch, you know, because he's the guy who ruined, well, he didn't ruin it, but like he, you know, he's there in the scene, like, wearing a watch when he's supposed to be a Roman in ancient times, and that, you know, everyone knows about that. Anyway, getting sidetracked here. So yeah, Doctor Who in Western. That was fun, you know, like, you knew the Doctor was gonna be the sheriff and stuff like that. It was okay, I did like it. However, now on to the bad stuff about the episode, which I might not have liked so much. First of all, after seeing Amy, that's something I forgot to mention in the Dinosaurs in a Spaceship review, is that it was really good to see Amy acting, like doing things that the Doctor would have done previously, like another episode. Like she was the one looking at the computer to see what was up, and you know, she was investigating, and she was an adventurer in her own. She wasn't just like the Doctor's companion, she was also like a full-fledged adventurer who could kind of like investigate and take care of things. That was interesting. That was really good because, you know, I mentioned it before in my mind, the Doctor will choose companions who can bring something to the table, like exceptional people, you know, not just hostage fodder. So yeah, in this episode, like the companions don't do much. Rory barely does anything. Amy is a hostage. At least she kind of like, she's a moral center for the Doctor in this episode, so that's something she does. But I mean, like, it was so good to see them being more, how can I put this? You know, like, skilled in their own right, like being heroes of the story, even when the Doctor is not directly with them, or, you know, I don't know, like in the previous episode, we would see things like Rory patching up his father because, you know, he's a nurse and he knows this stuff. He, you know, you see he's skilled with that. Amy, you know, investigating and doing all that stuff, and even mentioning like the big game hunter and Nefertiti as her companions. You know, she's like, I will not have flirting companions. Anyway, so in this episode, it's kind of like it felt like a step back because they don't do much. You know, and also. I felt like it was kind of like all over the place this episode. They didn't really know what they wanted to do. They didn't want to be like kind of like a Western but with the Doctor. They didn't want to be like a philosophical episode like what's good, what's evil. You know, does the greater good justify lesser evils? I mean, like, you know, committing evil for the greater good, is it justified? How does the Doctor project himself in this alien who did the wrong things? I felt like the reveals came too soon in this episode. The pacing was wrong because the reveal of the fact that the alien is the one who created the cyborg gunslinger and of his war crimes came so soon that then characters kind of like they were kind of walking around in circles. Oh, and this scene, like Rory and the sheriff are trying to distract the cyborg, or I don't remember what, but it's kind of like it doesn't amount to much, and then at the end, it's kind of like the alien takes care of it himself in a way, with the help of the doctor, but like not following the doctor's plan, and you feel like, I don't know, like, how can I put this? I did like it, but I felt like it could have been a half-hour episode, and it would have been better. That's how I felt. That the pacing was a little bit not slow, because I don't mind slow moments, like quieter scenes or whatever. But I feel like they were kind of like running a place where, because they were showing some things too soon and other stuff happened too late. I don't know. That was it's hard to put into words, but that was the feeling I got, that they could have maybe the script could have used one or two rewrites before being called the final version. Yeah, basically that's it. I think the Doctor is good when he faces philosophical questions of good and evil. That's interesting for him. We saw a darker Doctor. Amy kind of like called him on that, like I discussed before when we saw it in the trailers. Like in the previous review, I mentioned the trailers for this episode. Yeah, and also it felt kind of weird. Like I said, like it felt like they didn't know exactly what they wanted to do with it. Because at the end, when the Doctor is kind of like joking around with the kid who was panicking earlier and drew his gun and almost shot the Doctor, and at the end they're like, haha, laughing like buddies. And I'm not saying the Doctor should hold a grudge, but it kind of felt like it was out of nowhere that suddenly they were joking around, because you never even saw them become pals or anything. Like they didn't really befriend each other before or after the kid drew his gun on the Doctor. So the fact that they're joking around the end, like boom, ha ha ha, I don't know. Basically, I did like the episode, but not as much as the other ones, and I feel like it's not like the strongest Doctor Who episode. But it has its charm. I just feel like it could have like had its pacing fixed a little bit. Maybe the script tightened, like maybe give the companions a little bit more to do rather than stand around and talk about it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.